everyone, today is Saturday, the 28th. It is 5:30 p.m. I just woke up from a nap like 10 minutes ago. I almost forgot to record. The only reason why I remembered was because of my handy dandy to-do lists, and on it says upload, and I was like, I didn't even make a video yet, so let's do that. So today, I had planned on doing a tag video, mainly a tag video with my sister, the sister's tag. But because it's so late and I didn't have a setup already, I was like, girl, gotta get this done. So I was like, we'll just do something mildly simple. Today's an opinions video on the book trilogy, The Mazerunner. If you have not watched any of my other videos, I have recently been reading it and I recently finished it. I read Mazerunner, The Scorched Trials, and The Death Cure. That's book 1, 2, and 3. There is another book that is out, and then there's another book coming out this September. They are both prequels. Now let me just give you kind of like a rundown about like the first book, The Mazerunner, kind of how everything here starts. So The Mazerunner is about this boy, Thomas, who is suddenly put into this large arena-looking mechanism with about 50 or so other boys. He's like, what on earth is happening? Everyone in this place has lost their memory, and over time, living in this facility for over 2 years, have kind of figured out a little bit about their name and about what's happening in this facility. And the whole key to the facility is to escape the facility. And yes, it's a maze. That's why it's called the Mazerunner. And so yeah, that's basically the simplest little bits I could throw at you. Just so I don't spoil anything in case you haven't read it or watched it, because the first 2 books are out on movie. I have not seen them. Whenever the third one, third one will probably come out as a movie, just saying. If it does, when it does, me and my stepdad are going to watch them all because he's a movie freak, and I'm like, why not? But yeah, so let's get straight into it. First, I'm going to do my opinion on the first book, then the second book, then the third book, and then the whole series overall. So, The Mazerunner. It was a pretty great book, in my opinion. I'm a very utopian type person whenever it comes to reading and books and things. I will leave, maybe if I remember to, I'll leave a link down to my favorite books tag. The Mazerunner is indeed in it. It's pretty good. I love the way that it's written. It's not written as in Thomas is the view. It's not first person, you're Thomas. It's third person omniscient, which means you see into the mind of basically every single character when that single character comes up into the story. Someone's coming. Anyone gonna come downstairs? Doesn't look like it, don't seem like it. Somebody's over in my kitchen. Ooh, they're getting ice. Ah! Hopefully that doesn't bother you guys. But anyway, it's kind of from a third-person omniscient view, which I don't see a lot in books. They're mainly written in first person, where you are reading as the person. The Maximum Ride series is also an example of a third-person omniscient, where they aren't saying I, they aren't saying me. It's saying like Thomas went to the forest, you know, Thomas went to talk to Newt, you know. It's not saying, I went to go talk to Newt, I went to the forest, which I think is a really cool, different kind of spin on a book like this. It also gives you a lot more leeway into understanding what's going on, who is thinking what, whose opinions are on what, and who acts what ways. It's a better way to kind of get more information on a person, because of the fact that it's not just what Thomas is seeing, it's what everyone is seeing. And it's a great way to make a book like this with so many characters in it anyway, and so many opinions in the book, and so many feelings in the book. It's a great way to write this. So just so you know, guys, if you're writing a story first person, it's not always the way to go, especially if you got a lot of characters to write about. Whoosh. But yeah. So besides what it's written about, my favorite character was Minho. So one of my favorite things about this whole story is about I said I was gonna go book by book, but I just can't. I'm just talking about the whole series. My favorite book out of all of them, let me think about this real fast, would probably be Honestly, the first one. They had a lot of... I really like the Scorch Trials, actually. Because it was so weird. Like, I really like apocalyptic type things also. Again, done in my book review. But, so maybe the Scorch Trials. I don't know. It's a weird tie between the Mazerunner and the Scorch Trials, which one's my favorite. Probably leaning more towards the Scorch Trials, just because of its weird, weird twists on like an apocalypse and how people react and how things didn't go all the way that all the mechanisms are supposed to, and I don't know, I really like that. But yeah, so my favorite book out of all of them is probably, I'm just gonna try that okay, my favorite book is probably the Scorch Trials. Leaning Mazerunner's really close. The Death Cure was alright, but in my opinion the end to the series is never ever really the best, because they're kind of trying to make everything fit together. There's a lot more pressure on the author and on the reader also, about having to fit and crush all the ending together and make it make sense and make it end nicely, make it flow smoothly, but leave just enough information not there for you to want to go into the prequel, or for you to want to think about this book later on, for you to want to share it with your friends. So, in my opinion, the last book is never the best book. It can be a good book, it could be an amazing book, but I don't ever think it's the best book, because there's so much happening in one thing and it's trying to make so much sense that sometimes it doesn't. So, yeah. What else to talk about? What else to talk about? This video's 6 minutes. Ooh, wait, yeah? Yeah, 6 minutes, queen. I got real close. What's up, lady? So I really like the fact that my favorite character didn't die throughout the whole book, throughout the whole series. That's definitely a thing that keeps me wanting to read more, that they're alive. There was a lot of close calls where I was thinking, he's dead, he's gonna die, something's gonna happen. And he always kind of stayed alive, and I was like, cool, I like that. And I was also kind of thinking throughout the entire book, Thomas is gonna die, right? I mean, I used to believe that authors could, like, I don't know, I just thought it was a thing. Authors could not kill the main character because it was the main character. It was what the book was based off of. Until I read the Divergent series. Now, I know that this whole video has spoiler alert. That's why I didn't say it, because you should kind of know if I'm talking about my opinion on it. But here's definitely a spoiler for the Divergent series if you haven't seen and or read any of it yet. Girl dies. Her name was Triss, I think. It's been a really long time since I read this. Dies at the end, and I was like, how could you do that? It made me not want to read ever again. I felt cheated. I felt broken. I felt lied to. Like, I didn't know you could make the main character die. And that's why throughout this entire series, I was like, James Dashner, I see you. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna kill him. I know it. But he didn't actually end up dying, so I was kind of happy about that. I was really, really sad that Newt died. Newt was in my top 3, which is kind of funny. My top 3 favorite characters, top 3 main characters. That's usually how things go. But it went Minho, Newt, Thomas. Ooh, look at that arm flap. Ooh, I'm so sorry. Bingo wings. But I was really sad to see Newt go. I don't know how they put that into the movie. I'm kind of scared to see it. I predicted when I was reading. I like to make like little predictions on my index cards that I keep as a bookmark. I like to make like little predictions, and my prediction was either Minho or Newt got the flare. I was right halfway through that. Newt's got the flare. And the reason why I could guess that was there were a lot of moments in this book, which is something in the series, something that I like, but I'm not a huge fan of, is the fact that it can be predictable. I could predict that was gonna happen, because the Rat Man, or whatever his name, I don't even remember what his name was. It wasn't used very often. Jameson or something, I don't remember. He was like, not all of you are immune. And instantly it's like, well, they're not going to make some side character like Fry Pan, you know, or this person he doesn't know the name of, immune. I mean, not immune, sorry. Able to get the disease. I was like, he's gonna make it somebody that Thomas cares about so that it affects him more and it affects the story more. And that's how I was like, it's gonna be one of them. And the reason why I wasn't like, it's Thomas or it's Teresa, was because that they were such big characters in The Maze and in Wicked to begin with that, no, it wasn't gonna happen. But that's something I kind of like, because it makes it a little easier on the reader to be all like, oh, I think this is gonna happen. And then it happens, and then you're like, I called it, I knew it, I'm smarticles up in here, you know? It makes the reader feel better, it makes the reader want to read more, because you're like, ooh, I can guess the future, you know? In my opinion, it's a good thing, but it's not always the best, because you don't want to be sitting here not spooked, not jump scared, not like, oh my god, I lost all my English language right then. It's like you don't, if it loses all that factor, it's not the best. Kind of compare it to like a game, like a scary game or something, and like every time there's gonna be a jump scare, a warning comes up like, warning, there's a jump scare in 0.5 seconds. Then you're gonna be like, oh, roar, and you're gonna be like, oh, okay, cool, queen, you know? So you don't want too much warning in the book, and then the whole series is a thing, because if there's too much warning and there's too much predictability, it's not going to be interesting to read, because by the end of the first chapter you're going to know the end of the book, and it's like, don't want to do that, you know? So I like that some of it was like kind of like a guessing game, some of it was like, this is easily predictable, and some of it was like, oh my god, whoa, what just happened? What on the earth is this? You know, I really like that there's so much of that thrown into the series. And now that I've completed the whole series, I still don't know if I'm going to read the prequels, because again, I'm still not a big prequel fan. Right now I'm reading Maximum Ride, and the library doesn't have it, like I said in my video yesterday, but I do want to read the Tokyo Ghoul manga series and also watch that. So yeah, that was my opinion on the Mazerunner. Overall, 10 out of 10? No. I probably give it 9 out of 10. A lot of people say like, oh yes, Queen, 10 out of 10. When in reality, girl, you probably wouldn't give anything 10 out of 10. I give it a 9 out of 10. Would read it again. Might read again one day. Just to read. I might read the prequels at a later date and time, who knows. But yeah, 9 out of 10 stars on this bad boy. I really hope you guys did enjoy. I really do recommend this book. It's not too gruesome. There's a lot of people that die, but it's not written in like, there's blood sticking everywhere, I watched his organs be ripped out of it, you know? It's not like so grotesque and so gruesome that you couldn't like sit through it. I remember just hearing Katniss in the Hunger Games get her arm sliced open, and I was like, put the book down, I'm done. But that was a long time ago. That was like 7th grade, 6th, 7th grade, so you know, I've learned from that. But it's not too bad, so it's pretty readable. It has a lot of character introduction, but at the same time it's very minimum because of the way that it's written in third-person omniscient. So I really hope you guys did enjoy. Please leave a like down below if you did. Probably tomorrow I'll be doing an actual tag video with somebody, mainly my sister probably. She's probably really excited if she watches this video. But yeah, so leave a like down below if you want to see that video. Leave a like if you did enjoy this video. Leave a like if you've read The Mazerunner. Tell me down below what your opinion on The Mazerunner is. Book or movie, I want to know. I know a lot of people who read the book don't like the movie very much, but I want to hear your opinion. My computer screen just went off, so it might have gotten a little darker. Sorry for that. Anyway, peace out. Bye-bye, freaking bunny. Subscribe to become a bunny today, and check out my social medias because it's summer, and I update that a lot. See you guys in the next one. Blah.